Last year I had my board exams in Ramadan, and if you're an Indian or a Pakistani, you know how stressful they are. And these are the tips I used to study in Ramadan, and I'm still using them to ace every single test of mine. First of all, bro, the purpose of Ramadan is to get closer to Allah, and many people view it as a pause in their daily lives, and they think that since they're going to be fasted, and they are going to have less energy and less time to do other things in their day. But let me remind you one thing, that some of the attributes of Allah are Al-Alim, the all-knowing, Al-Qawi, the most strong. And so how can you become mentally and physically weak and not get good grades when you are getting closer to Al-Alim and Al-Qawi? So this is not a cope, and do not let this be an excuse of yours. So first of all, bro, you need a mindset shift. You need to know that fasting is the best productivity habit out there. Many studies have shown that when you are fasted, your brain performs much better, and there is adrenaline rushing in your blood, which makes you more active and which makes your brain perform better. So do not let this be a cope, and just know that when you are fasted, you perform a lot better. Like personally, even before Ramadan, I did not used to eat my breakfast until around 11:30 a.m. until after I had done all of my major tasks of the day, until I had done scripting, recording, and even my studying done. Do not say that your brain does not work when you are fasted. Oh bro, I can't study because I'm fasted. No, this is a cope and this is an excuse. You think that Al-Alim, Allah, would not know that someday Muslims will come who will have exams in Ramadan. As I said, this is a cope. Do not let this mindset stop you from studying and getting good grades in Ramadan. After this, the first question is, when do I study? Because bro, I know in Ramadan it is very hard to find time to study because of everything going on, the iftar, the suhoor, the tarawih and everything. So let's say just that tarawih prayer ends at around 10:30 to 11 p.m. and you go to sleep at 11 p.m. Okay, you go to sleep at 11 p.m. You wake up before suhoor, at around 4 or 4:30 or whatever your time is. So you wake up at 4. That's 5 hours of sleep you got. And so after you do sahri, you sit down to study. That's how you will be able to ace a lot of your exams, because those are the hours which I call the peak hours, because everybody is asleep in that time. Your family, your friends, and everybody, the entire country is asleep in that time. And so you can work in that time. It will take around 30 to 40 minutes to get over the initial grogginess, but after you get over that, you will be in a state of flow, and things will just flow to your mind, and you will be like, holy crap, why did not anyone tell me about studying in this time before? But if you want to get more sleep, you can go to sleep after sahri for around an hour and or a half, like I do these days. So what I do is, I do my sahri, I pray my fajr, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up at around 6:45, and then I take my cold shower, I get my morning sunlight, and then I sit down to study. And even still, these also count as peak hours, because in Ramadan everybody stays up late at night and then they sleep the entire day. That's how most people live their lives in Ramadan. Just study in those peak hours, bro. And if you do not want to listen to my advice for some reason, listen to this advice, that bro, don't study between the times of iftar and sahri, because I think those are the times in which the in whole vibes of Ramadan, you pray tarawih, you do iftar with your family, you do sahri, you might even go out with your friends, or some relatives of yours might come. So I would recommend you not to study between the times of iftar and sahri. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, made this dua: Oh Allah, give barakah for my ummah in the early hours of the morning. The Prophet, peace be upon him, made dua to put barakah in these hours. You know that all hours of the day are not created equal. The hours in the morning are not the same as the hours in the evening. For example, 2 hours in the morning are 4 hours. They feel like 4 hours. But 2 hours in the evening feel like 5 minutes. And studying for 2 hours in this time is like studying for 8 hours or even 6 hours if you study in any other time of the day. So just study in this time, bro. Now that you know when you are going to study, you need to know what you're going to study. And I can't tell you what you're going to study, because you might be studying a different course or something, and your weaker subjects might be different from me. So I can't tell you, because it doesn't work like that, basically. Okay, you understand what I'm saying. So what you do is, every day you go out of your room before iftar, you take out 10 minutes and you take a piece of paper, or you can even write it somewhere on your laptop or something, and you write what you're going to do the next day. You write your to-do list, you write your study list, what you're going to study exactly all the topics. Don't just write I'm going to study biology. No, don't write that. Instead, write that I'm going to study chapter 13 of biology. I'm going to study how does respiration occur in birds. Write the topic with it so that when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to spend your brain points thinking about what you're going to study, and you're coping and you're still half asleep and you don't want to study. And so when you do this the previous day, you write this with your cold masculine logic. And so even if you wake up the next day and you're feeling tired and you didn't get much sleep, or you're dehydrated because you didn't drink enough water in Sahri, and everybody is kind of dehydrated all the time during Ramadan because that's the purpose of Ramadan, you will not cope that I don't want to study. But instead you will see that list and you will say to yourself, my past self wrote this, so I have to do this right today. Write what you're going to study, make your study list, and then after you make your study list, just know that you can't study for the entirety of your day. You can't work for the entirety of your day. Most people, I think, don't know what the meaning of being productive is. The meaning of being productive is not that you're working and you're grinding 24 hours every single day. No, the meaning of being productive is that you are doing something good for your future self. So in this way, taking a nap is being productive. Talking to people you like and you love and you care about is being productive. So what you want to do is you want to take a power nap before Zohar. If you're like me and you go to academy, you want to take it before Zohar, let's say from 10:30 to 1. Don't go overload and don't take an hour nap. No, just maximum 30-minute nap. And if you go to school or you go to college, take a power nap at around 2 to 3, that when you come home from your school. So when you come home from your school, change up and then take a power nap so that your energy is dying down here because you're dehydrated and you're fasted. But when you take a power nap, it comes up here. So take a power nap. They are very strong, bro. If you take a power nap from 10 to 30 minutes, max 30 minutes, no more than 30 minutes. Because if you take a power nap more than 30 minutes, it will make you feel groggy and it will put a lot of brain fog in your brain. And I have tried to take power naps for an hour and a half and they don't work for me, and I don't think they're going to work. And I even researched on this. What I found is that if you take a power nap for more than 30 minutes, it makes you feel groggy and it puts a lot of brain fog into your brain, and it makes your brain heavy. So it's the complete opposite of what a power nap is supposed to do. In the end, bro, what I would say is that actually sit down to study. After you know the timing, after you have written your study list, after you have done everything, sit down to study. If you don't sit down to study, no matter how many videos you watch on this topic, guess what, bro? The studying is never going to happen because you never opened the freaking book. So open the book and study the topic. So to conclude, get closer to Allah during this Ramadan. Have sabr and don't cry like a little boy that you are feeling dehydrated or something. Study in the peak hours, write your study list, take power naps, and then actually sit down to study. And so do good, and I'll see you in Jannah.